Hello everyone. Welcome to the session Object-Oriented Programming through Java. Today we are going to discuss methods in Java, and myself Navya. I'm an assistant professor of CSIT department in MLR Institution of Technology. In yesterday's session we have discussed what is a constructor and how many types of constructors and what will be the constructor overloading. In today's session we are going to learn about what is a method and how to create a method and how to call a method, and we'll see a small example program of a method using method. So coming to methods. So methods are nothing but functions. In C++, how you are having the function concept, the same concept we have say that as in method. Here you can say that a method is a block of statements which is, when it is called, it will execute a particular specified task. Okay, so how you can define a method is a block of statements under a name that can get executed when it is called. When it is called, the particular block of statements will be executed. So what are the block of statements? That block of statements will be there in a method. Okay, so every method is used to perform a specific task, which I said. So whenever you are calling a method, that would be executed and it will perform some specific task. Okay, the major advantage of methods are reusability. You will write the code once and you can call it and you can specify, you can perform that task n number of times. So define the code once and you can use it for many times. Okay, in Java programming language, you can say a method defines a behavior of an object. So you can say the behavior method can be defined as a behavior of an object. That means every method in Java belongs to a particular class. Why? Because we already seen a concept called encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but binding the data and methods into one form. So at one place, binding method, data and method at one place. So what are these data members and member methods? So data members are nothing but the variables. Member methods are nothing but methods. In Java, everything will be in the form of classes and objects. So whatever you write the code, whatever the methods you can define, that should be in a particular classes only. So the methods in Java will be declared inside a class only. So what are the characteristics of a method? So how you can define a method? So these are the characteristics, or how you can write a particular method. So return type. If you are specifying some task in a method and you want to return some value back to the calling method, then you will use this return type. What type of value, what specific data type of value, that data type should be written here. And name of the method. Okay, it's if you are performing some factorial of a number. So my method name, I can define it as my wish. I can go with factorial, like that. So in any name you can define specific name of the method. Next, parameters. If you want to send some values to the method to perform that specific task, those are known as parameters. Okay, now block of codes. So how you whatever you define the specific task and you want to define the code, that would be done in block of codes. Okay, so how you are going to create a method? So I already said you that method is created inside the class and it may be created with any access specifiers, and this access specifier is purely optional. See here, class name. So here you can go with access specifier or no need of access specifier, return type, method name, and followed by parameters. In that block of statements, what are the statements? The code you have to written here, and you have to close a block of code. Now, how naming rules of a method. So you has to write the name of a method. So these are the rules. So the method name must be written start with alphabet and the lowercase letter is preferred. For example, if I want to write with factorial of a given number, so I have to go with factorial. Okay, so the method name must follow naming rules. So except the first word, each word has to declare the first letter of each word should be capital. And you should not go with the naming rules, you should not use any special characters in a except underscore, and you should not start a method with digits. So these are the rules, and you do not pass any parameters. You can ignore it, you can pass or you may not pass, that's your wish. And if a method is defined with a return type other than void, it must contain return statement, otherwise it would be ignored. If you are returning something, you has to return a value. It has to have the return statement in the block of code, else it is ignored. So these are the naming rules. How you are going to call a particular method. Okay, so in Java, a method call precedes with the object name of the class and which is belongs and dot operator. You will use dot operator for first object followed by dot operator followed by method name. So you cannot call the method directly. You can call it using the object only. Okay, so it may call directly if the method is defined as a static modifier. If a method is a static method, then you can call it directly. So this static modifier we are going to see this in the next class. Okay, every method call must be made as the method name and parameter in with parameters, and it must terminate with a semicolon. So calling a method, you have to call, for example, I am calling factorial function, a factorial method. So factorial of n, I have to close it. This is in function call. Whereas if you are having like this factorial of int n and followed by code. So this is a method definition. This is a method call. Okay. So the same syntax. Object name. First you have to write object name dot method name followed by arguments followed by semicolon. This is how the syntax for calling a particular method. And the method call must pass the values to parameters if it has. If it has a parameters, you have to pass the parameters, or otherwise don't need. And if the method has a return type, we have to provide a receiver. If you are returning something after completion of the specific task, that has to receive somewhere, right? So where you have called, there you have to provide a receiver to receive it. Okay. And the object name must begin with an alphabet and lowercase, and it has to follow the naming rules. So let us see a small example program of method. So input java.lang.start, which is very optional, and I have to define a class. I just want to have factorial of a given number. Okay, factor of number. Okay, this is my class name. Now I have to define a method, right? So it will return something. So it will return an integer value. Okay, factorial is my factorial of a given number. So this is my method name, and it was providing n value. Here int I for I equals to 1, I less than or equals to n, I plus plus. Okay. So, factorial of a given number, right? So, comma factorial, to have the factorial of a number, f equals to f into I. So, every time it will go with I equals to 1, 1 less than or equals to 5, like that. Okay. So, now this is my method. Now, I just want to call it, right? Public static void main string arguments. So, just want to have the value at command line arguments. So, I am not taking any. So, simply I am taking, I am just calling the method. So, simply system dot, before going to calling a method, I have to create an object for this. Okay. So, factorial of number is my class name, isn't it? So, I have to create the object for this, f equals to new factorial of a number. Okay, I am creating an object of this. So, I am just calling it system.out.println factorial equals to plus, I am calling a method, factorial of given number of arguments of 0. Okay. So, I am calling the function. Where I am calling the function, it whatever the returns value, that would be saved here. Now, I am closing the main function, I am closing this function. I just don't want to have the arguments. Int n equals to integer dot parseInt. Integer is a static method, static class, and parseInt is a method which is used to convert the arguments into the values. Okay. So, I am passing in here to it. So, how I has to save? Factor of a number dot Java. Save. Now, I has to go to the command prompt. Okay. So, Java C space file name dot Java. So, I am having an error here. So, what error I am having? It cannot be full static. Sorry. Here you have to call using object, right? So, f dot factorial of a given number. So, simply we are returning something. So, factorial of a given number when I have. So, there are no errors now. Java space factorial of a given number space, I want to find the factorial of 5. So, I am providing the argument here which we have taken integer dot parse in that. So, what is the value I have got? 120. So, how it will work? Let me show you how it will work. So, what we have written here, I am calling factorial function with some int n value. Okay. So, int I comma f equals to 1. My factorial value will be saved in f, and I is for iteration. So, for I equals to 1, I less than n, I plus plus, less than or equals to n, I plus plus. Every time the iteration I value will be 1, f equals to f into I. So, for the first I equals to 1, what will be the f value? 1 into 1, 1. And I will become to 2 less than or equals to, my n value is 5 we have taken, right? So, n value is 2, 2 less than 5, condition true, it will go inside, 1 into 2, 2. Now I will be 3, 3 less than 5, condition true, it will go inside, f 3 into 2, 6. Now this will become 4, 4 less than or equals to 5, condition true, it will go inside, and this will become 6 4s are 24. Now I will become 5, and 5 less than or equals to 5, condition true, and this will become 24 into 5, 120. Now whenever I will become 6, 6 less than or equals to 5, the condition becomes false. So here now it will come out of the loop and it will return f value. So whatever the f value it was returning, that would be printed here. So this is how the methods can be used. So in today's session, what we have learned in today's session is, first one, what is a method? What is a method? Method is a block of code. When it is called, it will perform a specified task. Then we have seen characteristics of a method. How you are going to declare a method. So how you are going to declare a method, and how you are going to write the naming rules of the method. Naming rules of the method. Naming rules of a method. Then after that, how you are going to call a method. How you are going to call a method. And the last, what is it? We have seen an example program. So these all are, we have seen what is a method, characteristics of a method, and syntax of a method, how you are going to define a method, and naming rules of a method, and calling a method, and an example program. Thank you for all. Thank you all.